Hey guys, it's Sam with 2M's and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Thank you and shout out to everyone who is tuning in live here on Mix. I'm so excited because in just a bit I'll be having a very special guest who I'm so excited to have back on Mix. And I remember the last time that I actually introduced her on the show, I said that she had one of the most beautiful voices, and I still believe the same thing. She's an incredible artist, a visual queen also, and I'm so excited to have her back on Mix to catch up, but also to talk about her most recent release. It's called Thorn. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things. So without further ado, everyone, please welcome back to MYXclusive, BEKA. Woo!
What an introduction, Sam. I felt just like a queen for that.
You are a queen. I'm so excited that you're back. BEKA, it's been a while since I had you on the show. Like we were talking a while ago, I said it's almost been a year. It's actually December of last year, which is so crazy to me. I know. I still remember it. Like literally, I still remember doing that interview with you. But how have you been since then? I know it's been quite some time, but how have you been?
It's been a crazy, amazing year. Like so many highs, definite lows of, being an artist. You like soul searching constantly. But no, it's been an amazing year. And I feel very lucky in the UK. We have COVID as kind of being dealt with a little bit more than it was last year. So we've been able to have a bit of freedom and frolic around. And I know that that's not the same for the Philippines. So sending all the love.
Oh, and I'm catching all the love. I will share it with everyone who is tuning in too. But that's great to hear. Obviously the world is slowly opening back up. Crazy, like I said, what a year can do for everyone. But it's been quite a year for you because I remember we talked about I'll Be There the last time that you were here, and it's been like a year since you released I'll Be There. It has reached like 6 million streams over so many platforms, which is crazy. And just last month I saw you played like headline shows too. So has all of this like sunk in for you? Like despite everything that's been going on, music has been really amazing for you.
It has. And I just, it hasn't sunk in at all, actually. That's a really good question. I think you're constantly thinking about the next thing that's going to come, singles for next year, the shows, they're like a distant memory, even though they were just, like a few weeks ago. And thinking about everything that's coming up, that actually, I think to stop and just take it in and think people have like listened to my music, people came to my shows, they knew the songs, people are hearing the new songs. Like it's actually incredible. And I think it's good sometimes to just stop and say thank you to the universe. Yeah,
definitely. An attitude of gratitude, I think, is always great to have. But sometimes we become hyper aware of like the things that we're going through. And I can imagine with a lot of things going on with music and then playing shows too, there are certain moments where you're like, this is wild, this is crazy. Like I can't believe this is happening. So what was like the most recent, or maybe the one that stood out to you the most when you had one of those moments?
I think there was a moment after the London headline. So I did my first one was in Nottingham, and that's my hometown. And there was a mini one there where I was playing You Got, and it got to the bridge and the bit that says, you've got the fire. And I don't think anyone knows that song. So in my head, it was a bit crazy to hear people singing it back. And I was very like, stunned. But then after the London show as well, just having all these people in the room who are like friends and who are, new friends who I now work with, and the team, and looking at them and thinking, I can't believe that I get to be around such phenomenal humans, and they're all working together for my project. And that was a bit wild. That was like, it felt like a real sort of coming home moment. And one of my best girlfriends was DJing, who'd been my bridesmaid, and this dream of her to DJ, and another friend had done my makeup, and like other friends I toured with were doing the sound, and it just felt, it was like, I couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Like all of this like music too, bringing everyone together. And I can imagine after, everything we went through in the almost like 2 years, being able to dance with everyone and just kind of vibe with everyone in that room must have been an amazing feeling. I saw some of the photos and the videos you posted too, just very recently. It looked like a vibe, definitely
it was
vibe.
Such a vibe. It was so good. Yeah, and I think those are the moments, aren't they, when you actually have, I do anyway. I think about the people that I want to work alongside, and I think about friends who I want to, bring in. And so for those moments as well, where it's people, because people are like the greatest currency, aren't they? I feel very people rich. So to have those people in the room and get to just dance and sing and like let loose after having had people actually come to a London show, it was deep.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna steal that from you. People rich. I feel like that's gonna be something I'm gonna be using in the future. But that's such a great way to put it too. Just, celebrating music all together. It's like one of the best feelings ever. It makes you feel
Yeah.
very, very alive. I can imagine too. But if you could like describe maybe the past year in just one word, I know it can be a little bit difficult, but like off the top of your head, what would it be?
I want to say wild. Is that,
Oh.
I don't know if that's a good word, but wild. Like
No, yeah.
just things that you just never think about
Mhm.
have happened, and
Mhm.
it's been a bit mind-blowing.
No,
Wild.
yeah, I totally agree. Maybe like the last time we talked, maybe none of us or both of us didn't think that, things that we went through would actually happen, but that's amazing. Like it is really wild and
Yeah.
life is a wild adventure. So I think that's a great word to kind of sum up the whole year. But I'm also really excited that you're back here on Mix because you did recently have a release just very, very recently. So you
Yes.
released Thorn. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
Thorn. So could you tell us more about the beginnings of the song? Like where did the inspiration or the story of it come from?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a weird one, Sam, but I'm just going to
Mhm, mhm.
tell you. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, it's a
So
safe space.
it's a safe space with like lots of
Mhm.
people there. I was in the shower, and
Mhm.
my husband,
Love
bless
it.
him, he walked in
Mhm.
and he was just like, "What would happen if you wrote about the most painful thing in your life?" And then he just shut the door.
What the heck?
And I was like, "That's really invasive and a really crazy question." But my shower is almost like my safe space. So I immediately
Mhm,
had
mhm.
this line, which is now the chorus, which said, "That thorn in your side is hurting me." Um,
Oh.
and I was really intrigued by the fact that that line had come so quickly, and was like, where did that come from? That's quite intense.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then I kind of sat with it for a bit, and I think I let myself realize that it was about a bit of family breakdown that had happened when I was younger in my kind of big family. And
Mhm.
as I started to go there with it, just sort of thinking about how it had affected me. And I think when you're a teenager and you have a bit of family breakdown, you just get on
Mhm.
with it because it's so it's so normal. Everybody has it,
Yeah.
or a lot of families do. But I think
Mhm.
then as an adult and as a kind of grown woman, looking back at that time and recognizing how it
Mhm.
had hurt me, and how I kind of still live with some of the pain of that, is where the rest of the song came from. So it's almost, me sitting with my younger self and going there
Mhm.
with it. And I think as much as the song, like the chorus can feel quite like intense because it really is me going there and being like letting it
Mhm.
out almost like a shout. It's also, I really wanted it to have a redemptive bit to it, because it wasn't me
Mhm.
just kind of saying, this is rubbish, but it was like, actually, no, this is painful, but where there is that real like love with somebody, there can also be real pain, and that's just how
Mhm.
it is. Which doesn't make it any easier, but I think it stops it from just being a negative thing. And actually, if you really love somebody, they have the potential to also really hurt you, don't they? In your
Yes.
relationships or in your friendships. And I think
Mhm.
it's the same with family. We love them so much, and we're so pulled to them because they're like our blood, but equally,
Mhm.
it can be hard as well.
That is true. Oh, I haven't thought about that in a while. So thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me. I feel like a lot of us like we love to focus on all of like the love, you know what I mean? Which is always great. But
Yeah.
also, yeah, on the flip side, our greatest loves can also be our greatest pain,
Yeah.
which I think is something a lot of people can definitely resonate with. And the song itself, I felt was very cathartic. Just the way it sounds felt very
It
cathartic.
was very
So I
cathartic
can
for me to write,
yeah.
like very, very
Yeah.
cathartic. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially with an experience like that, which is obviously a very difficult experience to have. But channeling all of that pain into music, I think, is such a beautiful thing. So, what was it like, Becca, kind of translating all of the feelings that you had about that certain situation and creating the song itself?
It was really hard. It's actually been the
Mhm.
hardest song for me to finish, and that's both
Mhm.
in sort of process. So from writing it and getting it mixed and mastered, like that process was so hard. And I thought that it was
Mhm.
just me and my ears and me thinking we're not quite there yet. But I think actually it was
Mhm.
also the fact that it was a difficult song to write. It's,
Mhm.
I make light of being asked, what would happen if you wrote about the most painful thing in your life? Lol.
Yeah.
But actually, I think going there and it took a lot of bravery, I think. And I don't mean that in a look how brave I am way, but more kind of me having to be brave with myself and let myself be honest with myself. Um,
Mhm.
I think I wanted the chorus to feel how I was hearing it, but those notes were notes I was a bit scared to sing,
Mhm.
and I think also I knew that the song would translate because it's quite, I guess, overt in what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was a bit nervous also to sort of say, yeah, this is about family, because it's quite vulnerable. But as I've done that, I think people have sort of said, yeah, I have similar situations. And that's been, yeah, it was very healing for me to write. And then also, it's healing to hear that it's maybe helped some people. And equally, everybody takes on their own definitions of the song and their own interpretations. And I love that. So some people have taken it in a romantic way, which is also really interesting.
Yeah, I think like the word that you chose, wild, I think is really wild how like your experience can also help others like heal through whatever they're going through too, and in whatever way they're feeling the song, like in whatever experience or relationship they can apply it to. But I thought Thorn in itself was a very like had like very powerful imagery. So for you, like Becca, what does like the thorn really symbolize, or like what is the like relation to the song with the thorn?
I think the thorn in your side is that thing that it's like the parts of us that are our edges. And I think we all have a thorn. And so for me in the song, I'm singing about, a circumstantial thorn in my life that's somebody else's thorn, and sort of saying that thing that you haven't got a hold on still affects me. But equally, it's a reflection on me because I have my own things that I know affect those around us. And I think the thorn it's your personal edge. It's the stuff that you find challenging sometimes about yourself, or even the things that you don't know about yourself that are challenging for other people. And I think that's the universality, is definitely not a word. That's the universalness.
It is now.
Universality, not a word. The thorns that we all have them. And it's very easy for us to look at others and sort of say, like, you need to get a hold on your thing. But actually, often the things we see in others are the things that are going on in ourselves, and we all have them. And I think sometimes we want to take it out and leave it and sort of let ourselves like be in pain. Sometimes we just live with it. And I don't really think there's like a to-do list that comes after recognizing it. I think it's first recognizing maybe the way that other people have hurt you, or the things that you've lived in. And then also, if you can be brave, looking at yourself, or even asking others, like, is there anything in me that's challenging for you? But we'll always have.
I love that.
Humans, we're never going to be rid of edges. And I think,
no, for sure.
Yeah, we can just learn to live with them and be okay with them and have peace with them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love this. Like, I'm learning so much about you and obviously your music and Thorn, but I feel like I'm, like thinking stuff about my life too, kind of like counseling, which I love. So I'm like now thinking about thorns and stuff. Like, what is my thorn? And like also people, right? Like,
so
it's a good conversation.
It's not chill to the end of your day. What are my thorns? Very.
Yeah, I mean, it's nighttime over here. So before I sleep, I'm going to journal about my thorns. So thank you, Becca, for my journal prompt of the night. But I mean, yeah, I totally agree. We all have thorns that sometimes we may not realize, but it's something we all kind of have to deal with and also recognize every now and then. And other people also have thorns, obviously. But a while ago, you did say that, writing Thorn was like you getting to sit with your younger self and listen to what she has to say about everything that she was experiencing. So now that you came out with Thorn, what is like your advice, or maybe something that you would give to your younger self now that you're looking back on this experience?
Ooh, really good question. I think now I would say that it's all formative. This isn't like an accidental part of your story. This is the story, and that's okay. And it's not something you have to fix or run away from. You just have to be in it. And I think probably like protect your heart. When I was growing up, my dad used to always say this phrase, which is so intense, Dad, but I love it. He used to say, your heart is the wellspring of life. So you have to like protect it. And so like from your heart comes your well-being, your everything. And he'd say like, don't cast your pearls before swine, which is so aggressive. He's saying like, protect your heart. You can't just pour everything out to everybody and expect that it's going to be handled well. And so I think protecting of your heart, being like your sense of self and the things that make you tick and your vulnerable sides, you don't have to become strong. It's like, it's okay to keep those tender, but keep them you know, in a safe space, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that is crazy. My mom always used to say something like that to me too. It's like
Yeah.
leave a little bit for yourself too. That's what she would always tell me.
Yeah.
Not quite as poetic as your dad, I
Yeah.
feel like. Shout out to my mom though, but
That-
also shout out to your
that's
dad. Shout out to Becca's dad. But yeah, I feel like that's such a timely reminder too, especially now with I feel like we all realize life is very intense, especially in the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
protecting our hearts and our peace, I think, is the number one priority for a lot of people. And just what a beautiful thing being able to channel all of your emotions and share it to us through music. It's really one of the coolest things ever. I myself feel very grateful that we have artists like you who, you know, feel vulnerable and share it through music, which is obviously not an easy thing to do. But in turn, you know, you help other people to heal with whatever they have going on. So to everyone tuning in, if you haven't yet, make sure to listen to Thorn by BEKA. It's available on multiple digital streaming platforms. I feel like you would tell your younger self too, to stream Thorn. So we're gonna tell younger BEKA. Yeah. Yeah, stream a Thorn. But aside from this, BEKA, what else can we look forward to coming from you? I know you have probably so many things you would love to do with music. So what else can we expect coming from you?
Oh, there's some new songs coming out next year. One of my I think it's probably my favorite song I've ever written in my entire life coming out next year, which I can't really tell you anything about because it's top secret. But
oh wow,
more music, more shows. Also, I'm really excited about Cuppa and Natters. We're going to be making them a bit more international.
Yes.
So guests from around the world, because there's been so many amazing UK guests, but actually, you know, some of my favorite territories, there's so much that I want to know about what your experiences are. And so
yeah,
Cuppa and Natters are going to be kind of growing a little bit in who we have on, but also in the way that you get to absorb it. So hopefully by this time next year, it will be its own awesome thing.
Oh, sounds exciting. Obviously, with the music and everything else you have planned. Obviously, we're just gonna support and, you know, can't wait for everything that you have going on. But for now, obviously, we're gonna savor Thorn in all of its beautifulness. Also, not a word, but we're gonna make it a word for right now. So to everyone tuning in, make sure to stream Thorn, of course, by BEKA, available on multiple digital streaming platforms. But before I let you go, BEKA, do you have a message to all your Filipino fans, everyone who misses you from over here and who can't wait to have you back when the time is right?
Yeah, I just love you all. You're doing so amazing as well. As like a place, you always stay so positive and so warm and so open. And I just genuinely would not be doing any of this music if it actually weren't for you. And that's not like a throwaway comment. That's serious because of your support. When we came out, it was like, it was just incredible, and kind of your support through the year and all your messages. Like I read every single one of them and they mean the world to me. So thank you. Just thank you for being incredible, kind human beings. And I cannot wait to come out. Hurry up, pandemic.
I know, right? Well, thank you all, first and foremost. Thank you for joining us here, but also thank you for being you, BEKA, and obviously sharing your music with all of us. We can't wait till the time is right and you can have you back over here. It's going to be an amazing show. I'm telling you right now. I mean, you've already experienced it before. We're going to experience it again very, very soon in the future. So we can't wait for that. But thank you once again, BEKA, for joining me here on Mix Day. It was great.
You're amazing.
To catch up. You're amazing. And I love this, you know, mutual support. We love this, you guys. But thank you as well to everyone who tuned into this MYXclusive interview once again. This has been Sama Twims and BEKA. Thanks, guys.